Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, this is one of the. I enjoy doing this show. It's an awful lot of fun. The award season for movies is officially over. The Oscars have been all handed out, and all of the other awards that try to be important, like the Oscars, they're all handed out too. And you have your winners and you have your losers. So at that time, I like to put together my list of the best, and it's a totally different criteria. I am not looking for any agendas. I'm not looking for any type of, a movie must meet this certain criteria. Here's the criteria it must meet. If I put my hard earned entertainment dollars down on the counter to buy a ticket, wasn't money well spent? That's the criteria. Did I enjoy the movie? Was I able to escape for a couple of hours and have some fun? And in that respect, this is a compilation, a compiled list of the movies that in 2023, if you spent your money watching them, and nowadays you can't just say buying a ticket, it could be a streaming service that you're laying money down to watch them too. Was the money well spent? And I've got them all wrapped up for you tonight as cinematic class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And let us start. I say this every annual show, and I've been doing an annual show since 1988, so you can do the math. It's been a long time. And every show I say the same thing. When we're done with tonight's episode, you will discover that there are more of these movies we talk about tonight in your home video collection, whether it be actual Blu-rays, whether it be, digital copies or stored on your DVRs, whichever way you collect movies now, there'll be more of these movies in your personal home video collection than there are in the ones that were finals for the major awards and the Oscars. Just before we get into things, a brief comment. There were some very interesting movies that were up for awards this year, and there were some that were certainly worth a view. And therein lies the rub, if you will. They're worth a view, and once you see them, they're done. Put them away. Really no need to collect them at that point, is there? There is one exception, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Let's get on with tonight's categories. The first category is one that has not been around for a long time: blockbusters. Normally, the blockbusters have been very disappointing and have not only failed as far as the fans are concerned, but they failed in the box office as well. This year, there were some box or blockbusters that sometimes people call these tentpole movies because a lot of the studios are built around these franchises, and some of them really came through. Let's get started. A Haunting in Venice, I believe, was the third outing for Kenneth Branagh to play Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. It was good. It was different than the other two, added a little element of the supernatural to it, and did not weigh down with the foibles of Poirot like the second one did. Went a little bit back on track, got into the mystery, and it was worthwhile. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, this movie was fun, and it was a better conclusion to the Indiana Jones series than that fourth movie was. That fourth movie was absolutely horrendous. It really was. So if you throw that one out and just do the first three and then add this one, that's a nice little collection. And Indy starts and ends well. Now, every movie, beginning with Raiders, became less good, if you will. But still, if you put all four of those movies together, throw out that Spielberg thing in the fourth. That was absolutely horrible. The Dial of Destiny was a nice way to wrap up that series. And while we're talking about wrapping up series, let me talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Folks, I have to be honest with you. I had never even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out, all right? And once the movie came out, then naturally I got together with, John and Todd from New Dimension Comics, and at the time from Ron Rossitano down at Phantom of the Attic, and they opened my eyes to what was going on with these characters. It was fine. And it was a fine presentation in the movies as well. Volume 3 wrapped up the initial trilogy of these characters nicely, because if and when they decide to bring back, Guardians, it's not going to be the same cast and crew. They've all gone and moved on. They wrapped this up kind of nice. I like the way they did it. And again, if you take those three movies, they make a nice trilogy. And it's a good superhero trilogy, and you can put it aside. Speaking of superheroes, let's talk about The Flash. Boy, there was a lot of controversy on this one. Technically, James Gunn dipped his finger into this one, but really didn't have a whole lot of control over it. But it was still deemed his first foray as head of the DC Universe. And, this one was played for a lot of kicks. I certainly liked the way they changed the timelines and did the thing with the different Batman and stuff like that. I thought it was a lot of fun. It did not take itself seriously. I don't think anybody else would either. And as a good comic relief, I thought it was a whole lot of fun. And the other blockbuster that a lot of people got upset with me for liking was Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. No, I never played the game. I know what the game is, but I never played it. A card game, okay? No, it wasn't for me. But I got to tell you, this is another movie that did not take itself too seriously, and I'm sure that upset a lot of the hardcore D&D players. But for a casual observer who, doesn't play the game regularly, it was an awful lot of fun. And by the time the Fat Dragon came along, I was pretty much rolling in the aisles. I was having an awful lot of fun with this. So those are the blockbusters that were released this year. I think they wrapped up their series good, at least, 3 of them did. And the other ones were a lot of fun to watch as well. Here's a look.
I've seen a million of these so-called psychics, each one a fake.
I do not believe in psychics.
Come with me to a seance. Spot the con I can't.
Detective, you are here to discredit me, but I can talk to the dead.
I'd give all I have to hear my daughter's voice.
If someone wants to be heard, we are here. Listening.
Mama? Felicia?
Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones! A few times in my life, I've seen things. I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times. Once by your father. Sorry! But I've been looking for this all my life.
together. One last time. Into the forever. That beautiful sky.
Truth be told, we helped the wrong person steal the wrong thing. We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known. But we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Next category is comedies. Now, normally in comedies, I have maybe one or two movies, but this year, we actually got a little bit more. Maybe my sense of humor is changing. I don't think it's that. I think I just managed to find some really funny movies, and none of them were mainstream, I got to tell you. The first one was a movie called The Scottish Play. And this was about William Shakespeare coming back through time in modern times to fix up a play that he really didn't like. It was a funny movie. It came from Britain, and it was exceptionally well done and quite humorous. The next one is a movie called Mad Heidi. Boy, I got to throw a caveat out at this. This is not a comedy that most people would go for. For those of you my generation and maybe the generation or two after, if you remember a magazine called National Lampoon, that magazine was, how should we say, sacrilegious in a lot of different ways. It really pushed the envelope as far as humor and comedy are concerned. Back when I was reading it, you would never get away with doing that kind of stuff today, believe me. But for those of you that remember National Lampoon and like that humor, that off-the-wall left-field humor, this movie is it. It is in celluloid what that magazine was in print. Very, very funny. The next two movies are actually dramas that snuck under the radar and didn't get any publicity at all. One is called A Little White Lie. This is the type of comedy that, honestly, was a staple of Hollywood in its golden years and has since gone the way of the dodo. It was nice to see it back again. Michael Shannon in this is really, really good. And the other one is called The Kill Room. The Kill Room was pretty much a template comedy, a caper template comedy, but it had, as its cast, it had Uma Thurman and Samuel Jackson and Joe Manganiello, and those three together were just great in the roles. And as a result, they helped boost this movie up. All four of these movies provided an awful lot of laughs.
What art thou? And how comest thou hither, man?
My words. You speak my words.
I met someone last night.
That was fast.
He was sitting on a bench in the moonlight, and he seemed like he acted like Shakespeare.
Now, the girl from the Alps is back. With a vengeance. Get ready for action. Beautiful Swiss girls. Swiss Army katanas. And, of course, fondue boarding.
I love the smell of cheese in the morning.
Can you honestly tell me that you haven't been lying to me?
That's a complicated question.
Would the, real Schreiber please step forward?
Can we please put an end to this buffoonery?
What is up with me?
This thing's supposed to be a front. That means low profile. Why do I even have to tell you this is not good?
I knew that money laundering was a crime, but murder?
I'm sorry, we don't have any work from the Batman available.
There's an extremely long wait list of collectors.
Everybody wants one.
Horror, action, and westerns, and a whole lot more coming up when Outtakes with Rick's Reel continues right after this. Things have been going fast and furious with our sponsor, the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. Why, within the last month, they had the National Cigar Night, which I told you about on the last show, was an awful lot of fun. And then they had the St. Patrick's Day Poker Night, which was equally as fun. But you know, all of those social events, now it's time to put them aside a little bit because spring is coming, and with spring comes warmer weather, and with the warmer weather, you want a nice lighter type of look and hairstyle. And boy, can they fix you up at the barbershop part of the House of Fairuza. Of course, Sam down there runs it, Corey is down there, and so is Tiana. You could go into either chair and you can have yourself a great look. And they will use the best of supplies and products to help you style and profile. Hey, it's where I go. You should see me without their magic, believe me. It's the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. They're located at the corner of South Park Road and Drake Road. Stop in, tell Sam I sent you along. He'll fix you up in all good stead. Welcome back to the show. You know, the next category is one of my favorite. It's the action. And there were a lot. So I've broken them up into two categories. First, the most noble action films. These are the action films, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not seen them, you need to see them because they are excellent. Sisu is the first one. I can't say enough about this movie. You could always check my review for it online, but I had a blast with this thing. The Child was excellent. I have had more comments about that movie. We gave it out on the show as one of our promotional items, and man, people just loved it. I couldn't give away enough copies of that. Kane is the third one. It's spelled with a K, K-A-N-E. Excellent movie. You won't see the ending coming on that. And Dark Asset is also one. Now, I'm going to pull back just a little bit and tell you that the four movies that went into the most notable category, they're all foreign movies. Okay, but they're excellent. All right? Okay. Here's a look at the good ones.
This is not about who's the strongest. This is about not giving up. We have a word for that in Finland.
왜 그랬나? 난 단 한 번도 타겟을 놓쳐본 적이 없다고. 난 프로거든, 프로. 전문가.
알파리가 제대로 보였어.
나 기억나?
I know what I am. A monster! Today's a good day to die.
The doctor would never let us go, not until the next upgrade. And he's done with us permanently.
Second part of the action movies, we'll call these the good ones, okay? Not the most noble ones, the good ones. Operation Fortune, that came out at the beginning, over a year ago, I think January of 23, and that's with Jason Statham. Mercy Road and The Channel. Those last two are independent movies that did not receive a whole lot of push from the studios, but I found them, and they were definitely worthwhile. Here's a look at all three.
You can't catch this fish with conventional lures.
I'm sorry?
The lure being Danny Francesco.
The movie star.
Greg Simmons' favorite movie star.
And how do we get him?
Blackmail.
Who's the gear? Very good. Carry on.
Hey, it's Ruby. Leave me a message.
I am so sorry that I wasn't there and that I didn't know. I just wanted to say that what I did for you. answer!
Hello, Tom. I'm afraid Ruby hasn't heard any of your messages. I have. I've listened to them very carefully, in fact.
Where is she? What have you done with my daughter?
The Irish Channel to get lost in right there.
FBI robbery task force?
How'd they know?
Let's go get our money. You're a little light, don't you think? We ain't had no choice.
Tell me more about these brothers.
The younger one was the smart one.
Everybody just calm down.
The older one was the mean one.
So I apologize.
Let's move on to the best horror films of 2023. This was a very disappointing category, I must say. Probably one of the best of the batch was a movie called No One Will Save You, and it was from the folks at Paramount Plus. Boy, it was just, it was a good movie. Paramount Plus still has it. If you haven't seen it, you owe it to yourself to do that. There's 3 more movies in this category: Dr. Seville's Horror Show, The Tank, and Unwelcome. Now, those last 3 are not American-made movies. Okay, they're foreign movies, but they were all in English. Okay, so it's not like we got them from the Asian market or something like that. They were good. They were very, very good. And that's it. I know some of the big studios tried to put out horror films, but boy, they just didn't cut the mustard. Part of the reason for this is because Hollywood is obsessed with producing horror films, but keeping them for a younger audience so that they have either a PG or a PG-13 rating. They feel that'll bring in more viewers for them. When you do that, you kind of sacrifice the horror elements an awful lot. These movies did not do that. They will still provide you with enough chills and thrills. Satisfy your Saturday viewing.
Be careful what you wish for.
What did you leave out tonight?
Oh, shoot.
You can't miss a single day.
Hello?
So let's take a little pause of the best of for 2023, and let's give some stuff away. That's always fun to do. You probably have seen the press release already that Donnie Yen, martial artist extraordinaire on celluloid, is going to revive the Kung Fu series. Now, he's not going to do it as a TV series, but rather as a movie. And boy, that caused a buzz, because Donnie Yen's a big name, and who could bring Kwai Chang Caine better than Donnie Yen? That's going to be a good one. But before he does that, he's going to freeze you out a little bit. The movie is called Polar Rescue, and it's brand new from Donnie Yen. And I have a limited number of the deluxe Blu-ray edition for this movie to give away. All you need to do is send me your name and address, and I'll pop one of these in the mail to you. It's as simple as that. No contest, no prize, to get the prize or trivia question. Just send me your name and address, and I'll send one of these to, as long as I have them. And I do have a limited number, so don't delay on that. We're going to run where you send it down there. It comes right into the studio, and then Dave will let me know, and we'll fire these out to you, okay? It's Donnie Yen in a role that you might not expect him in. Dealing with an avalanche. It's hard to kung fu an avalanche. It's called Polar Rescue. Here's a look.
天良是大人都死后了，不还吗？大家不能停，求你，大家都到极限了。队长，有情况。是。
Never! Babalai
Some pretty exciting stuff from Donnie Yen. Polar Rescue. Add it to your home video collection. Send me your name and mailing address, and I'll fire one of these out into the mail to you. Westerns, as we get back to the best movies of 2023. Boy, this was a lame category this year. In fact, there was only one worth watching. It was Butcher's Crossing with Nicolas Cage. They're currently pushing another one of his movies, that Dream Scenario. You can check my review on that. It's online. Don't waste your time. Find Butcher's Crossing and watch that. It was the best and only Western worth watching all of last year.
So you're a God-fearing man yourself.
Why fear God?
You don't know. You'll see.
So I told you at the top of the show that of all the movies that were nominated for awards and Oscars and what have you, there was only one movie that was actually worth repeated viewings. I've seen it 4 times already, and I've enjoyed it every time. And of course, I'm talking about Godzilla -1. This movie was without question the best movie of the year. So there you have it. Those are the movies in 2023 that if you bought a ticket for them or paid to have them streamed, you had your money's worth. They are enjoyable. If you missed any of them, believe me when I tell you, folks, 2023 was not a bad year for movies if these are the movies you watch. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.